Hello from gardening at Douentza here in Ireland, and spring is very much in the air. Now in this video I want to talk to you about one of my absolute spring favourites, and it's a tiny little bulb called the Iris reticulata, or the netted iris. And this one is just fabulous because it comes from places like Russia and the Caucasus and northern Iran, where it's really cold. So that means it pops up through frosty ground and it blooms in beautiful magnificence in January or February in my garden. So let's go and have a look at Iris reticulata. As I mentioned already, I absolutely love Iris reticulata, and these are fabulous little bulbs that you can buy easily in autumn, and you can pot them up or you can put them in the ground, and I love it because it works so well in my garden. Now these are bulbs that you can plant in a pot if you like, and I did make a video some time ago where I planted some of these beauties in a pot with my lovely son Joshy, and I'll link to that at the end of this video. But what I really like to do with these irises is to plant them in the garden, and they work perfectly well for me. They're very hardy. There are just a couple of things you need to get right. So they need a sunny position, and they are not woodland plants. They need a well-drained soil, but if you get those two things right, then they should do really well. So I guess without further ado, let's go and take a look at where I have some of these Iris reticulata in the garden, a little patch that needs a little bit of TLC just at the moment. And spring is definitely in the air, and I don't know if you can see it from there, but what we're actually looking at is the emergence of some spring bulbs. And here we have them. Oh, not those are snowdrops. We have the Iris, Katharine Hodgkins. Now this is the first of these irises to open, and as you can see, she's an absolute beauty. But we have others to come. Now the only problem is that this bed is a little bit weedy and needs a little bit of care so that we can enjoy these irises fully when they come up. So that's exactly what I'm going to do just now. I'm going to weed this bed, going to mulch it probably, and then we're going to come back and see those irises in their full glory. This one is flea bane, the bane of my life, I can tell you. And we have plenty of these. I don't know what that is, but it's not good. And plenty of this. Just being careful going around the bulbs so as not to damage them. Of course it's best if you do this job before they emerge, but we don't always get around to doing what's best. And here we are just a little bit later, and I guess that trug full of debris I've taken off the garden is the fruits of my labour. Lots of weeds in there, lots of dead growth from top of the perennials, and this is the bed. So the soil looks so much better now. It's been ruffled up a bit with my scraper, and we have all of those irises just poking up. Today I'm going to top dress my irises with some homemade leaf mould, and it's wonderful stuff that I made myself. In autumn I just collected up all of the leaves that had fallen on the grass and put them in these plastic bags and punched some holes in it and wet them and left them. But it's super stuff. Now this is the stuff that can be used in potting or top dressing, and I love my little iris bulbs, so I'm going to use this around the iris bulbs now. So I'm just putting the mulch around the bulbs. Now, as I mentioned, these aren't woodland plants, but they can do with some feed, and this will work great. Look at so many big fat juicy worms in it. It's just amazing. And this top dressing is going to serve to keep the weeds down as well as feed the plants. So the great thing about these irises is they pop up before anything else does in spring, and that's super. But you have to remember as well that they're going to go dormant before everything else comes into play. So that means you're going to have a lot of bare soil going forward. So the trick is to cover that bare soil and stop you disturbing the area. The trick is to not plant anything on top of them, because that's going to kill them, and you need to remember where they are so you don't accidentally plant anything on top of them. What you need to do is plant something nearby. So if we look over here, where it's just really bare ground at the moment, and what I have there is a couple of geraniums, and geraniums are super plants for scrambling and moving around a big space, so they cover up this space in summer and stop me accidentally planting in it. Don't they look absolutely gorgeous? Now, you might be forgiven for mixing these irises up with, oh look at the little bird coming in, with mixing these irises up with either the Pacific Coast irises or Dutch irises. They actually look really like them, but these are much smaller plants. They are real little gems to have here in the garden. I wouldn't be without them. Now, as you can see, I have a couple of gaps in here among my Katharine Hodgkins, so I really need to buy some more bulbs. That's your job. Remind me, I must buy some more Katharine Hodgkins. Don't forget now. And that brings me to the end of my video about Iris reticulata, and I hope you might feel inspired to try them out if you don't already grow them in your garden. Look out for the bulbs in packets in autumn, and maybe if you don't fancy digging them into the ground at that point in time, put them in a pot, and then after they've flowered you can plant them in the garden in spring. Thank you very much as always for watching, and check back again for lots more gardening videos. Bye!